School's out for summer, and for most kids, that means no more homework. But for many kids across the state, that also means no more breakfast and lunch that were provided during the school day. It's estimated that more than 270,000 children in New Jersey experience food insecurity. And the summer is always a tougher time for that reason, but with the federal changes to SNAP benefits, that's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, it's made it so that some families truly don't know where their next meal will come from. I recently spoke with Terry Connolly, CEO of Nourish NJ, a Morris County-based organization, about what they're hearing from families who are struggling. Terry, thanks so much for coming on to talk to us. We know the summer months tend to be a time where we see increased hunger and food insecurity, but this summer in particular, residents are especially feeling it. Why? What's contributing to that?
So we know that in New Jersey, 1 in 7 children, which is 275,000 kids, experience food insecurity. And that is throughout the entire year. When you get to the summer months where families no longer have access to free and reduced meals at school, that puts that added pressure on the families. This year, compounding that is the increase in food costs. We all feel it when we go to the grocery store. We leave with what feels like not a whole lot of food, and the bill is so much higher than it would have been before. So it's not surprising that families are having a harder time. And then compound that with rising rent costs. And then the price of gas right now is so high. So all of these pressures are just squeezing families tighter and tighter, making it even harder for them this year than it has been previous summers.
There's also been some legislative changes. We know that last summer, Congress and the president moved forward a work requirement change for SNAP recipients. And it applies to many who receive SNAP, what's the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program here in New Jersey. They say that they want these work requirements to reduce federal spending and to reduce dependency on welfare. Let me ask you this first. How many residents in New Jersey were impacted by the new requirements to be eligible for SNAP?
So the most recent count is that 38,000 households in New Jersey have lost access to their SNAP benefits. And we know that on average, 38 to 40% of people receiving SNAP have children. So included in that 38,000 people who have lost benefits is 20,000 children in New Jersey. So this is devastating for families, devastating for children who are growing up in this environment. You know, SNAP provides the basis for a lot of families to be able to go to the store and purchase what they need. It is by far not enough to cover all of the family's food needs, which is why they also come to organizations like Nourish NJ every day to supplement what they can get with SNAP. But then, once you lose those SNAP benefits, you're just digging deeper and deeper into the hole, and families are really struggling right now.
Have you seen that this change to the work requirements is actually helping folks to get out there and get employed? Are we seeing increases in employment as it relates to this change?
We are not, because the vast majority of people who receive SNAP benefits are already working. So most people who are able to work are working. Where we're seeing people losing benefits is primarily people who are experiencing homelessness, veterans, people who are the primary caregiver for their children, so they need to be home. Child care vouchers have also been cut, so access to care for your child has been significantly decreased. And, all of these things come together in a way that if you need to be working to keep your SNAP benefits, if you're not already working, the other supports that you need, like childcare, transportation, assistance with job searches, are just not there anymore. All of those programs have gone away or been significantly reduced. But I think the most important point is that most people who receive SNAP benefits are working already.
You, I know, are based in Morris County primarily. You're located in Dover and Morristown, yes?
Yes.
How do you reach people? Who is able to come in to Nourish NJ, and what types of services do you offer there? Just give us a sense of what your operation looks like.
Sure. So we have been in operation for 40 years. We started in Morristown and opened a Dover location 3 years ago. We are a no questions asked organization. So that means that anyone who walks through our doors is welcome to help themselves to food. And food is really the primary engagement that we have. So the ultimate goal is to help families and individuals build stability in their lives. So financial stability, to help them move past food insecurity. But it starts with the food. So no questions asked, no barriers. Everybody deserves food. Everybody has a right to food. So people come in, they help themselves, they get to know our social workers, and then we begin to work on things with them like how to increase their household income, how to control their housing costs, how to prevent eviction, how to get people quickly rehoused if they do lose their housing. We are the SNAP navigator for Morris County, so helping people access those benefits. We provide meals to college students at County College of Morris who can't afford to purchase meals on campus to help them stay in school and be able to graduate and have better incomes at the end of that education. So it's really wraparound services that are geared towards helping build stability and help people thrive instead of just survive.
We know that food banks more and more are feeling the crunch of having to supplement the gaps. And let me ask you this: what is the best way for folks to help if they do want to donate, if they do want to get involved?
So there's so many ways, volunteering. We use more volunteers now. On an average day, we have anywhere from 20 to 50 volunteers who help us make our mission happen. So if you have some extra time, volunteer for a local organization. We always need the hands. We always need the help. Food drives are helpful. So reach out to organizations near to you, including Nourish NJ, and find out what the current needs are. What are the things that we're shortest on? A lot of people have begun to donate produce from either their garden or from their community gardens, which is incredibly helpful because, as we all know, fresh produce is one of the most expensive things for families to access. So we really try to focus less on canned goods and dry goods and more on healthy, fresh foods that families have a difficult time affording. And then, of course, financial donations always help and are incredibly flexible to allow us to really adapt to exactly what is it that that family or that population on that specific time needs. So maybe there's a need for milk and eggs right now, or maybe there's a need for fresh produce, or maybe we didn't get the protein that we had ordered, so we need to go out and get that, or we need to deliver to people. So financial donations give us that flexibility to react quickly.
All right, Terry Connolly, I know you're doing good work out there on the ground, CEO of Nourish NJ. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.